Twajibike, a community-based organization in Siaya, entered into a partnership with GGF in 2025 to work with community in strengthening environmental security with East Game Ward. This partnership was primarily dedicated to promoting community awareness and policy engagement on environmental protection and the restoration of degraded mining areas.
My name is Bernard. I'm the coordinator of Twajibike platform, which is a community-based organization championing the rights of our people. And we work on 3 areas, majorly natural resource governance. We also engage a lot on policy advocacy, where we try and push county government to engage the people in the county planning, county policy, and all development initiatives that county government is undertaking. We also engage in the area of environmental protection. So this initiative that we are conducting is a partnership between Twajibike and Global Green Grants Fund, where we started a project on enhancing human rights and environmental protection in Siaya County, specifically in Game, where we are located, because the scope of the project is not that large. And one of the key components of this project was to engage with artisanal miners on environmental protection. We know very well that artisanal mining is an activity, economic activity that is mainstay in this area. There are several families, several households that depend on artisanal mining for their livelihoods. But the impact that has been created over time, because this is a historical process, the impact that has been created by this over time is a lot of environmental damage, a lot of deforestation, a lot of interference with river ecosystems, where rivers have dirty throat from morning to evening. Streams are drying up because they are changing course out of artisanal mining. But wanton environmental damage, where there are pits all over in the forest, in the land, where it also reduces the agricultural farm land, because whenever there are pits that are not rehabilitated, the land cannot be utilized. Cows cannot graze there. Farming cannot happen, therefore people to produce food, and therefore it becomes a wasteland.
Artisanal mining plays a significant role in Siaya County, providing livelihoods to many people. The National Action Plan for Artisanal Mining estimates that the sector employs about 40,000 miners, with a total of 800,000 Kenyans depending on it. Statistics of artisanal mining in Siaya is unavailable, but some of the areas dominated by artisanal mining include Rera, Abimbo, Ramula, Ojalo, Barding, Onyata, Asembo, Nyangoma, and Ramba. Artisanal mining is informal, less regulated, and fraught with many challenges, including serious human rights violation, environmental degradation, and poor labor conditions.
For the 2 days we've been here under the invitation of Twajibike, just to witness what the kind of restoration activities doing, I would say I'm pleased. I'm pleased because, one, you've actually identified areas of need, areas where there is the most felt need. Yesterday we were at Miresi, today we are at Onyoso. As I'm seeing the kind of open holes left around and the level of degradation of this land, and you see land is a factor of production. When it's left fallow like this, it's left, it means we are limiting ourselves from productive sources. And so I'm very, very happy by the initiative you've taken, and particularly for today that I've seen even youth being invited to witness what is going on. I think that is educative enough.
My name is Leonard Mbidi. I'm the owner of this piece of land. This piece of land has seriously been degraded as a result of our mining. When we started small. We didn't know it would get to this much. We didn't know it would get to a point that we cannot manage to refill this piece of land.
No, wow, se kepre kabisa aliwach gold. Kasi kunya landslide no correcting mo than ekre. Nik mane mapido na kanapia no yan dos suode. Ahora no bakanyo alwapte. Ki an there I was luari hindi na gold. La toli mo queria sara me tiempo. Por sair tonyan kata. Treo do samoro mo ketu na lo bala. Napia mo pito bifundo. Dan rabulo mo pido. O sea, un fremo correcting que se gibiro punyo. Gold tie tie ginen tie large. Puro tuar pe timo lanse. Puro kaneno gimba to di bitio fare nos giro timo we watai dana wakani. Kagi nyalo ende se amane kwen. Nyalo ende amate wa tem praka nyalo restore tiao to the no se tu.
It's a problem that I would say probably right now needs serious county attention, because of late, for the last 3 years, there have been an emergence, a sprouting of artisanal mining activities in the county. While initially gold mining sites were just, I think, Rarieda, Asembo particularly, and Sakwa. But right now we see it in every sub-county in Siaya. You go to Kenya, you find it in a place called Masambra. You get to Gunja, you find it even right in my village in Lolwe. I go to Game, I see it in Nyabeda, Rera, it's commonplace. And I think the way it's happening, it's like the way it used to happen before. We are seeing an influx of particularly foreigners, not people from Siaya actually. Particularly people of foreign origin, particularly, or even if they're from other counties other than Siaya. And they're coming in with money to the landlords. I want to pay you this much. I want to do some excavations. And then they end up leaving empty holes, borrow pits, unattended to. And even from the baraza we just had here, we are getting eyewitnesses of how a number of cattle, in fact even a donkey, was lost in part of the pits. So the pits are there, they are left abandoned, unattended to, unreclaimed, and then they end up being death traps. So human safety, yesterday when we were at Miresi, the chief himself said actually there's a person he rescued from Dene River who was drowning, right? So you see the kind of risk it poses. It really does not match the amount of money we're given initially, because we don't look at the bigger picture and the bigger, and there's other side effects. So it's a common problem that needs now urgent attention.
As part of the project with GGF, Twajibike engaged artisanal miners with capacity building workshop where the need to reclaim damaged land dominated the discussion. As a result, a collective action plan was reached to collaboratively start some rehabilitation of the damaged land, after which Miresi and Onyoso village were identified as examples to start this initiative. Twajibike engaged the landowners as the key pillars of the reclamation action. Peter is one of the landowners who agreed to mobilize artisanal miners who worked on his land to work with them on the reclamation activity in Onyoso. Peter was excited to offer his land for the reclamation demonstration together with Twajibike and other community members so as to have his land back and use it for other purposes. He has committed that he will take care of the land reclaimed and use it as an example to others in future agreements he might enter into with artisanal miners. This started with community members who are mainly artisanal miners, backfilling the pits and leveling the soil to prepare it for planting. In some cases, topsoil had to be found from elsewhere to cover the stones and ready the ground for planting. In consultation with landowners and some experts, it was decided that instead of trees, the reclamation focused on bananas and vegetables, which are also food crops and was useful to the landowners, therefore guaranteeing ownership, care, and sustainability. Bananas also restore the soil quickly, improve soil fertility, stop soil erosion, and also drought-resistant crop. In total, More than 150 banana stems were planted.
The reclamation to make it more productive through planting of bananas, I think then we need to include even officers from agriculture.
Wamanyo excavator pesa wa mondo walos go buche manoso cham kendo full scale mining jogi onego ni migawo ma Siaya County choko magi bedo cooperative matije magi tiyo gi bende gol tax to tax no mondo duogi olos kuonde ma kethre. Koro an gima kwayo gi apart from rabolo apani onego omany kodhi mar lum manyalo tikani onego wakwong wamany mondo omak lowo. Mamano to aber ka jo forest omiyowa koth lum mondo wamedie ei rabolo mondo lum cha omak lowo mondo ka lowo to duogo eka wachak pidho yien mamoko. Koro gini to ber.
The small-scale and artisanal mining operations has damaged most of our land. Therefore, this type of initiatives should not be for Twajibike only. The county government needs to come in and include this type of initiatives in their county projects and budget to pick it from here and other places across the county.
The other aspect also is to mitigate, to foster responsible mining. And what we are telling these artisanal miners, or what we are sharing with these artisanal miners, is to build their capacity by showing this example, that we don't need to create this problem moving forward. And we are encouraging them now that as they dig, and the mantra we are putting is that dig one pit, hit the goal that you're getting from there, fill it back first before you move to the next one. And this can only be achieved if we have collaboration with the community, but most importantly, collaboration with the landowners, because landowners are the ones who are allowing the artisanal miners to mine those lands. And the agreement that they do is normally what the landowner will get from the artisanal mining activities, but not how the land will be taken care of.
The harm caused by artisanal mining and the risk it continues to pose can only be addressed through strengthened collaboration among all stakeholders, underscoring the urgent need to promote responsible artisanal mining. Government at both national and local levels plays a critical policy role, but more importantly, it must ensure strict adherence to policy requirements. Artisanal miners must recognize that the environment is our shared home, using the land with future generations in mind. They should embrace self-regulation and commit to mining practices that go hand in hand with restoration. Landowners who release their land for artisanal mining must support this movement by integrating land restoration and environmental protection into the agreements they established with artisanal miners.
So then the farmers are educated that yes, this piece of land can still produce something edible, something that can change your livelihood, and it's something that is sustainable, not just like gold that would leave the land degraded. So there's need to involve for more involvement of other professionals. There's need, like I identified yesterday, to involve the KEFRI, Kenya Forestry Research Institute, because you realize this area and tree loss is very high, given the kind of activities that are going on. The mining, I think they end up uprooting trees. So the Kenyan forestry is also coming in with a tree species that does what we call phytoremediation, that we are able to absorb some of the chemicals left behind in the soil as a result of mining activity. So we need to involve those level of those other actors, or those other players. We need to involve National Land Commission, particularly Nairobi office. I know they are very active on issues of land reclamation. So then we spur the agenda. We keep the agenda going. We keep the agenda in focus. I mean, for even bigger resources.
But what we advised them to do is to take the initiative at personal level to go and practice in their own farms.
Like others who are doing the same thing which we did, to be educated, especially those who are beginning, so that whatever little pits they dig, they refill them before they open up the new ones. If that education can get to anybody else, I think it would be very beneficial because they'll never get to the point which we have gotten to. This point, which is almost a point of no return. I highly regret what has happened.
It would be valuable if this initiative inspired further efforts with government, taking the lead in reclaiming degraded land across Siaya County. Beyond bananas, Kefri should also support the community by providing grass seedlings and specific tree species to accelerate soil restoration. According to the County Director of Environment and Artisanal Miners, Twajibike's initiative of working with miners and the community on land restoration is unique and unprecedented effort that should be replicated more widely. We also urge the Ministry of Land, in collaboration with the Ministry of Environment, to sensitize communities and artisanal gold miners on proper care of riparian lands, including understanding the geographical boundaries between rivers, streams, and roads or pathways.